Kyndal.
I'm Sophie.
And this is Not That Serious. Welcome back.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
It is a good day.
It is a great day. I just came from the dermatologist.
Period.
I've got some Band-Aids on my neck if you can see them. Anyway.
She said,
had to get some skin tags removed. You know how it is.
Can you tell the audience on a pain level or on a scale of like, did it hurt?
I
What
didn't
was it
feel
like? Because I know if you're anything like me, like I have skin tags all over my body.
So like literally the doctor, I wasn't even planning to like get them removed today. I went in for just like an annual check-in, and the doctor like was like, oh yeah, like we could probably take those off today. And I was like, oh, she literally like put a little like numbing injection thing in them and then just like snip.
They cut it?
They literally cut it off. Yeah.
I don't know why I was like, oh.
Well, they do. There's like other ways you can do it too, but like she was like, we'll just cut them. I was like, oh.
They could probably
okay.
cut. I have a couple. I have like one like right by my little armpit, and I was like, I bet you they. Honestly, the way that my hair gets caught in it, like in tugs, they probably could cut it.
Yeah, no, and there's like other ways, but like my doctor just was like, we'll just cut them. I was like, oh, okay. So now I have my little Band-Aids. We're hanging out. Not that the audio viewers like myself.
Not that they give a flying fuck, right?
Like,
it's fine. But yeah, like my mom had skin tags too. She said that she had one on her face. She said that they took like nitrogen drops or something, and it like fizzled out and fell off her face. I was like,
oh, for it to fall is crazy.
It fell off her face. Right. Anyway, how are you feeling? How is life?
Life is great. I just put in my 2 weeks notice at my job.
Yes, so we should tell everybody the inspiration behind this episode, to be honest with you, because
I mean,
that was it.
I mean, yeah.
I was like, it's time to kind of
there's something in the air, because like one of our other friends also just resigned, not even 2 weeks, just as like peace, and honestly an inspiration to me.
Yeah,
so.
honestly it was time. And then what was it, I quit my job 2 months ago,
like not long ago at all,
and so that was it feels like it was so much longer ago, but it was, I'm like, because my last day was in June.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like I still lived here even though I fully did not.
No, but it was like a long time coming, because I feel like one of the breakdowns I had about the job, I remember like we were all just in the living room and I was losing my shit. I guess we can get into that in a second, but we all have been there. Jobs suck.
Done. Yeah, they do.
We hate jobs.
Yes, let us sit here and look pretty and pay us.
Yeah, like why can't we just literally like, I don't know, we should have been frolicking through flowers. We should have been enjoying our life.
Bring back the barter system. Like,
oh my God, I would barter and trade with literally anybody at any given point. Especially if you're a hairdresser. If you're a hairdresser, you know how to do hair, you can do silk presses, you need to hit my line right now. I will give you social media services for free, so long as I get hair done for free, and we will be cool.
Honestly, that's a great deal.
I will market your shit.
Seriously, like,
that's all I
anyone
have to
out
say.
there,
like, you need to just
snatch her up, like take her up on that.
Hit me up, dear. But
yeah,
before we get into everything, question of the week: what pissed you off on the internet? Oh my God, I'm so used to saying that.
Oh.
Don't come for me. What pissed you off in general this week?
Well, it's great that it's not the internet anymore,
right?
I feel like I haven't been on the internet
Same.
recently. I don't know. I'm having a hard time being pissed off because like I'm leaving my job.
Right. She said, I'm actually really happy.
I know. Like, I'm kind of just like, la, la, la. I'm trying to think of just like something small even. It might just not come to me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go first and maybe I'll think of something.
I was going to say, I was like, I have a story enough for the two of us. Y'all, I don't own a pet. Let me preface this with saying that. I don't own a pet. I'm not even remotely close to any animals right now. But I have a family that I cat sit for on occasion. They have this really cute cat. She has 3 legs. She clearly has trauma because she does not like it when I wear heels. If I come to feed her in heels, I have to take my heels off because she doesn't recognize me almost. Like, she's definitely has some trauma. All that to say, so this is not what pissed me off. This cat has nothing to do with anything. It's just, context, setting the page. But she has problems, that cat, bless her. And they think she has stomach cancer. I know.
That is so sad.
Isn't it so sad? I was like, damn. And it makes me sad because like the family, like they just like, they've been going through it. And so the lady, like the owner of the cat, calls me. She's like, essentially like, what are you doing right now? Like, can you please help me? She's like, I'm working. Her daughter can't drive. The other daughter is like in class or something. And she's like, I need to get this medicine because I need to get the medicine in the cat today. And she's like, and I just cannot pull away from work. Like, apparently it was in like the vet for the last like 3-4 days. She was like, I've already like lost so much time dealing with the vet bullshit. Like, can you please go pick it up and bring it to the house, essentially? And I was like, yeah, like that's no problem. Y'all, I've never stepped foot into an animal clinic before in my life. Maybe I've stepped in once, but it was not like this. That's why I think I was just so shocked and appalled at what I took. The owner called it a circus. I think that was a very accurate representation of what I saw, because man, there were no birds flying, but if there was a bird that flew past when I walked in,
like the cherry on top.
Oh my God. But I walked in, I'm talking to this lady, trying to get like the medication and whatnot. And this lady comes in. If you are listening on audio only, I actually implore you to just pop over to the YouTube for the next 5 minutes while I tell this story, because you just need to understand what I'm talking about. But this lady came in with this dog. Firstly, the dog had a cast on. The dog had an electric blue cast. So clearly the dog is unwell. The dog, as soon as it walks through the door, doesn't stop fucking moving, y'all. And I'm not talking like, oh, like the owner is walking the dog back and forth throughout the lobby. Like it's just a little like restless. It is moving about the entire fucking lobby. Like won't stop. Like not running per se, but just like that dog is not standing still. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm minding my business. I thought it was kind of funny. I was like, I don't understand why the dog like can't sit still. I was like, the dog has a cast on.
Do dogs have ADHD? Like, can they?
I don't know, but that dog did.
T.
That dog did. That dog was like not. That dog was not chilling out for shit. For not for money, not for treats, not for anything. That dog was literally kept moving. The owner, like, this is where it gets me. Like, it's not like the dog wasn't on a leash. The dog was on a leash. The owner was being pulled every which way due to the dog wanting to go every which way. And the owner is just allowing this dog to just move about the cabin. And I'm waiting on this lady to tell me about the medication when all of a sudden a smell so pungent hits my fucking nose. And it was already bad enough because the dog stinked. When the dog walked in, I could smell it walk in. That's the crazy part. Okay, no. We all know dogs don't smell pleasant, but that dog smelled like dog. You know what I'm saying? Then I smell something so pungent, my nose hair start to singe, and I said, that dog shitted. And I didn't even get to turn around before the lady goes, uh-oh, we had an accident over here. Girl, fuck you. Get a bag. Like, she didn't ask. She didn't go, hey, like, oh, no, can I get a bag? Oh, no.
I'm just like... How do you, as a human, like,
let that happen?
First of all, yeah, I know people think of their dogs as their children, but like, it's like dogs poop. Like,
if a dog,
is it an accident? If like you're no, like that wording is so interesting to me.
It's so fucked up
because it's not like
accident,
the dog
right?
can't like determine whether or not, like, I mean,
it's
yes,
going
I guess
to
it
shit.
can, but like, yeah,
it's going to shit. And it wasn't. And like, just to be fair, y'all, like, I'm not an evil, heartless bitch. Like, if the dog was really like sick as fuck and couldn't help itself, that would be one thing.
That also
was
would
not
probably
the
be
case.
an accident. But
that
like,
was not the case though, because the dog, it was a healthy shit. I saw it with my own eyes. Okay, it wasn't like diarrhea throughout the entire like hallway. It wasn't like the dog was just like barking and screeching, trying to shit. It was literally a healthy shit on the floor, and the dog went about still moving. That's the crazy part, still moving around. The lady was like looking at, everybody was just looking at the shit like, y'all gonna pick that up, you gonna pick that up. This lady behind the desk looked over, went, damn, that's crazy, and sat back down. Nobody's moving.
She's the hero of this story.
She absolutely is, because I wouldn't be picking up that shit either. Nobody's moving to pick up the shit. I had to leave the building because the shit was so strong. This one lady came out just skipping. I don't know. She was happy as shit. Almost stepped in it, and everybody was like, "Hey, watch out!" Because nobody was picking it up. Nobody's picking up the shit. I have never experienced anything like that in my life, and I just had to fucking laugh because I was like, oh. Did it piss me off? Absolutely. Did it make me giggle? Absolutely. And that just didn't, y'all, I couldn't stop laughing when I got in the car. I like went on like a close friend's rant.
No, I saw the rant. It was very funny.
It's just like, I'm not even doing it justice because I was so disturbed yesterday that my rant was like influenced by like that disturbance. Today, I feel like I've had time to simmer over it and let it sit, and it doesn't make sense. Because I've heard if you have a dog, you know when your dog's about to shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's like context clues.
Right.
Yeah, no.
She let it do whatever he wanted. But
to be fair, like, that just reminded me of the worst. I guess technically it was a job. I did a dog sitting gig for like 2 weeks last summer.
Mm-hmm.
worst experience of my life. Damn. I'm telling you, those dogs ran me ragged. They were hellions.
Ran you ragged.
I'm so serious. I literally couldn't leave the house. I was essentially like a prisoner to the house. One of the dogs had really bad separation anxiety.
Oh.
So as soon as the owner was gone, and I was not warned of this, first of all. So I had no idea. And like, I'm like, Kyndal, like, we're not like, we didn't grow up with pets in the house like that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't
which
like
is fine.
that.
Like, but
it's not something we're used to, y'all.
It's not.
Like,
It's not.
I'm not about to lay my life down because I just don't get it. Like,
Right.
I can appreciate people that like love their animals. Don't love your animals to the point where they can shit in public and get away with it.
Or sleep in your bed with you.
Pick.
Sorry, that's my own personal. If you let your dog sleep in the bed with you, I have beef. Like,
damn.
Because I know y'all don't be washing. You guys don't wash your dogs. Like,
Y'all don't no, that dog
she
stinked.
can attest.
That dog smelled.
I had a conversation with my cousin the other day. She was like, yeah, I mean, like, I keep seeing like dog dads on all these like people's like profiles. It's her first time like on dating apps, which is so funny. And so she's like, I just keep seeing dog dad and swiping left. And she's like, I just know like these people are not washing their dogs.
No.
Like, I just know it.
They don't wash their dogs and they don't wash their sheets and they get in and they just literally roll around in filth. You know your dog been outside. You know your dog got ticks. Like, we got to do something about this.
Lyme disease is on its way.
Lyme disease.
But no, okay, so back to the dog sitting. So I don't go too far off track.
No.
Anyway, so I couldn't leave the house without them like pissing, pooping, whatever they want, like all over the place.
In the house?
In the house, on the air mattress.
Where you were sleeping?
Where I was supposed to be sleeping. So then I ended up sleeping in like the like people who own the house's bed.
God.
And of course, guess who's also sleeping in that bed? The dogs. So I saw both dogs, 2 dogs. So I started sleeping on the couch so that they couldn't be on the same like level playing field with me. Because I could not. I was like, at some point I was like, I just cannot do it. I don't want your body like near mine. Like like, this is not, I'm touch starved, but not to that level, please. I'm
screaming.
So yeah, and then, so that all culminated in, they only had like 1 key made for the house. And, I had split this dog sitting with Josie, who also lives here. And so she had done like 4 days that I was gone doing a different like gig. And, the key somehow got lost. It happens. But why did these people not have a spare key? They had like one of those like automatic keypads that you could get in the house. So I was like, all right, no big deal. I can still get in and out. It's whatever. Tell me why the battery died in the keypad.
I was going to say, didn't the
I got locked out of the house. I had locked every door because we were in Atlanta. And I was like, I'm not about to leave these doors unlocked.
No.
And so then the owners got mad at me and called a locksmith. It was like $400 for the locksmith. I was broke at this time. I sent like my last like $200 to these people. I was waiting to get a paycheck from them so I could pay my rent. And I was like, let me try to help. Like, let me be as like nice as possible. I was like, let me send you like some money to help out with it. And then they still deducted from my pay. Yeah.
They didn't just take the 200 as a deduction in itself?
Nope. Yeah.
Oh my God, fuck that.
Yeah, so that was really awful, and I don't work with that person anymore.
I wouldn't either, because what the fuck?
And neither does that person's business partner who was working with her.
Oh my God, that's the tea.
Yes.
Okay, y'all. So we're just gonna go dive right into it because we're obviously talking about workplace tea and drama and like jobs, literally anything that has to do with tea. My favorite thing in the world is hearing tea. You guys need to understand this. I love it.
To spill tea.
I love to spill. I love to hear it because I just want to react. I want a good story. Okay, so we asked you guys like what y'all's workplace tea is. We're about to get into it. We have our own workplace tea that we'll just briefly dive into. But yeah, Sophie, that's tea.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the person who I was dog sitting.
Are you allowed to talk about that situation specifically?
I might still
because that was tea.
Well, so this person like I'm like gonna be as anonymous as possible. I might still have the screenshots of this person. So these people ran like a small business and like super cool, very nice. So I thought.
It was like 2 of them.
There were 2 of them, and I'm like on Instagram a couple weeks ago. And like, hope they don't mind I'm airing the business, but it was on a public story.
It was on a public, like,
this was on a like public.
This was
Instagram
on a
story.
public Instagram story.
Live update for anyone wanting the tea. I'm officially done with insert company name and insert business partner name. I'm like
Company A.
Okay, so I'm officially done with Company A and Sarah, who used to be my business partner and friend. The ending of this was quick but extremely messy. Essentially, there was a blow up over the weekend at a festival where I checked in on her to see if she needed to go to sleep because she worked all day and seemed very overwhelmed. She got offended, told me that I treat Company A like any old job and that I hang out with all of my quote unquote real friends instead of her. There's a part 2 I have to find. So we had a confrontation after that where I tried to explain myself and ultimately wanted to hear an apology from her. She didn't hear me and also said she was not sorry for the hurtful things she said to me.
Damn.
So that was that. She told me to leave her property. Today I scheduled with her to remove all my things from our work studio. To my surprise, everything was out on the lawn waiting for me, where it had sat yesterday and last night when it rained on and off all day and all night. Furniture, art, kit supplies, and tools of mine were filled with water, continued ruined. And she said, anyway, I'm all moved out and I feel so much lighter. And she posted a video of her pouring water out of like her kit. Like,
who does that? Who does that?
The same people who deduct from your pay when they didn't have a second key to their house, and
I just like,
and you got locked out.
oh my God.
And didn't yeah.
So we don't fuck with them anymore.
So yeah, that's one workplace bit of tea, which that was
tea. No, because when you told me that, I was like, oh, I'm gagged.
I was like on the public story, like,
on the public story,
clutching my pearls.
It's like, I don't fuck with this person anymore. You guys need to know. That's me on my podcast though, low key. I must say, I feel like I'm very much like, yeah, y'all won't see this person again. And it always comes back, unfortunately. That's the tea. But all that's friendship drama. That's other stuff. This is workplace drama.
Workplace drama
is tea. What else have you like gone through? Do you feel like is like worth the aggravation?
So Kyndal had me prepare things before I came in.
Yeah, I was like, what kind of stories do you get?
When I was young, my second job ever, I worked at a restaurant. I'm gonna once again use a fake name. I'm gonna call it Joe's.
Okay.
So we're just
gonna
call it Joe's.
Joe's Crab Shack.
No, it wasn't this is like, it's a person's name, but
right.
I just was like, let me just yeah, sure.
Joe's Crab Shack.
Joe's Crab Shack. Sure.
Yeah.
So most unhinged place I've ever worked. First of all, I could probably write a book on all of the things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically the manager I had was so awful and misogynist, openly misogynistic. And so I'm gonna call him Pat. So
okay, Pat.
So Pat had a lot of issues aside from the misogyny, but that was the biggest one. And it got to a point where he would show blatant favoritism to male waiters over the waitresses.
Of course.
Of course. And so he would schedule them more, or he would give them more tables and whatever. And all the women were kind of mad about it, and they would come talk to me. I was cashiering, I wasn't a waitress or anything, so I would hear all the tea and kind of be off on the sidelines And one day I was closing up, I was counting the register, and this man loved to hear himself talk, of course.
Of course. No, every man does.
And so he's chit-chatting away, and he's well, just men are biologically smarter and superior to females. And I turned and I said, I'm smarter than you. You can't even work this computer system right here. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Not you came for his neck.
I came for his neck.
And his establishment.
He didn't own the place. He just managed it.
Oh,
yeah,
period.
This is not the owner. The owner of the place is a whole other story. That man is
crazy.
Should be institutionalized.
Joe himself
frankly.
needs to go.
Joe himself needs to be put down.
Oh, in the shack.
In the shack. Let the crabs eat him.
Let the crabs get him.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was that. But so this manager doesn't work at Joe's anymore. But he does work at another restaurant now. And one of my friends a couple months ago was like, you're never going to believe who started working at the restaurant I'm working at. And I was like, who? And she goes, Pat. I said, T. I said, he's the worst. And she said, I know. So I texted her because obviously so many things happened. But all of this stuff was at least 3 years ago. So I don't remember a lot of the specifics. So I was like, hey, you want to provide some fresh tea?
Can you help me? Yeah.
Right.
I have content I need to make.
Yeah, so she said that the blatant differences in treatment are still happening. So one of her coworkers, who's a woman, was 8 minutes late, and he told her to leave her house 8 minutes earlier the next day, but never says a word when our male bartender shows up 5 to 15 minutes late and hung over at 2 p.m.
Oh, hung over at 2?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's bonkers on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and then she said she was watching the bar while the bartender, who's a guy, was taking a break or doing something, and he walks a couple of people walked in, and he was like, I need to go get the male bartender right now. And she was like, I got it, it's fine, there's customers, I can take care of them, it's not that big of a deal. And he was like, no, I have to go find the guy right now. And then apparently she said in front of the members, like, don't go bother the bartender, I've got this. And then he looks at the members who like walked into the restaurant, and they're all men, looks at her and goes, don't ever talk to me like that in front of the members, I'm the manager. And then she said she told him, don't underestimate me in front of them then. T.
Wait, she ate on that.
She ate on that. And so then apparently the owners of the restaurant that she works at were like, hey, like, we have to cut like people like hours down, labor costs, whatever. And so apparently he said, just remember, this is from the big boss, and I had nothing to do with it. I don't want anyone getting emotional about their hours. And the only males they work with are the managers and the bartenders. So he told a bunch of women not to be emotional about their hours. And that's just like tip of the iceberg.
That's just the type of shit that you actually genuinely want to wring somebody's neck over. Like, I don't really want to enact violence, unprovoked, but like, that's the type of person you see and you just like have to jump them. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. It's absolutely just like bonkers to me. And it's like, you know this is happening, but you don't expect it until it's like right in your face, and you're like, wow, that's really how people behave.
Incredibly disrespectful.
So yeah,
so funny.
And those seem like, even those are mild, but still, like, when that's like over and over and over again, it's just like, come on, dude. Like,
it's honestly so to piggyback off of the underestimating, I have work tea that I have never shared on a public platform because I worked for this company and I just didn't want the drama, but I don't care anymore. And so a lot of y'all know I used to work for a media company. I was leading massive campaigns. I was doing big shit, big girl shit, and I was good at my fucking job. Let me set the record straight and tell y'all I was good at my job. I'm still good at my job. I was creatively leading your favorite brand's TikTok campaigns. Let me say that. And so we were leading one for a brand that was very particular. I don't want to like drop the brand's names, but just understand this brand was like a brand that was owned by an even bigger brand. Mm-hmm. So the drama or like the tea was like, if an influencer was creating a piece of content, or if any content was created, it had to go through that social media team on that brand, but it also had to go to the parent company brand's social media team. So like the bigwigs. And it was like, they had all these rules and stipulations on like what they wanted to see, but that translation was not getting back to the regular brand. And so there was just a lot of like confusion and not a lot of clarity on like the actual ask for the campaign objective. And so when I got pulled on, I was realizing the brand itself was not in the United States. So there was a time difference. And usually what would happen with this company specifically is the sales team, whoever sold the deal in, was like attached to it tightly because they were the main point of contact or whatever. And then once the deal got sold through, what should have happened is the sales member then backs the fuck up and lets the post-sale team, which would have been me, hey, everybody, the producers, the client service managers, like all that shit, we would have handled the project now. That is our job. Tell me why sales was still attached to this deal by the time I signed on. And what was annoying was, usually in my position, I'm supposed to be on the calls with the client, not necessarily leading them, but I should be on them to at least talk to them about the creative vision, about creative execution, what's going right, what's going wrong, things like that. And there was the first like several calls I was not a part of, not because of anything other than they would not add me to the call. Salesperson wanted to take over the call. Fine, whatever, do whatever you want to do, except for the fact that the information from the call was not being like translated correctly. So what essentially was happening was people, the company was getting these like assets they didn't like. They were getting these content from creators they did not like, and they were coming back and they were being like, we want them to change XYZ, and we'd be like, whoa, that's a lot of fucking feedback, like, and we're only supposed to do 2 rounds of feedback. One of these creators, God bless them, had 6 rounds of feedback. That's not my problem because I wasn't fully aware of all the feedback that was even being sent to the, you know what, drama. This is the sweet part, okay? After I sweet talk the client, because that is what I'm able to do, we get on a call, I understand the vision, I tell them, this is what I'm understanding from you. Does this make sense? They're like, oh my God, finally someone gets it. And it sets in at that moment in time that I am good at my job. And I said, wow, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So they wanted the campaign to be done a certain way. Let's say the campaign was, the campaign was supposed to be emotional. And a lot of these like creators were sending in stuff that was like, day in my life, da, 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 like super like, yeah, da, 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 da. And they didn't really want that. They wanted it to be way more sentimental. was what I got and what they also confirmed to be the truth. So after that call, things are going smooth. We get an asset from a creator. They send in this video of her doing a get ready with me. It was not good. It wasn't good. And to the point where I literally, when I looked at the video, I told the people that would be responsible for relaying the video to the client, which isn't, I'm responsible for giving feedback. I told them, I said, do not show this video to the client. We're going to go directly back to the creator, have her kind of redo it, and then we show it to the client. That was my course of action. Sales member comes in and goes, well, actually, I think the video looks fine. Well, actually, bitch, I didn't tell you how to sell the deal, didn't I? So what do you know about whether or not the video looks fine, right? So that was the tea. So I literally said we had to all hop on a call. It was me, the producer, this client service manager, the salesperson. And I was like, I have a very, very, I'm sitting here. I'm like, I strongly suggest you absolutely don't send this to the client. They're going to be so mad. They're going to be very pissed off because at that point it's going to be like, I thought you guys understood. Now you don't.
Right. Because you just spent time cleaning up this mess that happened in the first place.
And then drama. So tell me why. By the end of the call, the client gets the video that I said don't send to the client. She went over me and decided to send the video anyway. That client sent the nastiest email the following morning, pretty much being like, we at this point, we should just pull out. Like, we don't even want to talk to y'all anymore. Like, we don't understand why y'all don't get it. And I literally had to laugh because I didn't even get to get a word out, because when we got on a call to try and like diffuse the situation, like, okay, how are we going to move forward from this? Everybody on the call sat there and talked to sales girl and was like, why did you go directly above Kyndal's orders? Like, Kyndal's responsibility is to like creatively execute. Why did you think that like you knew better than Kyndal after she had directly spoke to the client? Why did you think that that was a good idea? And she had to issue me an apology for, not listening to me in my creative direction. And I just thought it was so funny because it was like, you know what? Y'all motherfucker. And that was one of my final straws. That was the straw, man. It was so funny because there were so many things that led up to like me wanting to quit. That was straw 2, to the point where after that whole debacle happened, I wrote the feedback that I told them to give to the creator, and I told everyone to kiss my ass. I'm taking the rest of the week off. And I did.
Good.
And nobody could tell me shit. They were like, yes, ma'am. And at this point, they didn't give me my raise. I'm now the face and voice of the company. I'm now doing all the work for spearheading this creative process for this damn app that they're developing. At this point, people probably know what the fuck I'm talking about. Fuck you guys. Then they did massive layoffs without telling anybody in the company who they were laying off. This has been a couple months in the making, so I'm sorry I'm like ranting. But y'all did mass layoffs, didn't tell my manager, didn't tell people even above me in rank. People had just gotten promoted. And they laid off half the fucking company on a company call and told everyone they would know within an hour whether or not they still had their job.
Moment of silence for that.
Literally. Fuck you guys. Fuck you guys. And honestly, I would say I hope the business is doing well. I really don't give a fuck.
Hope it tanks.
I really kind of do.
Sorry.
And I just don't give a fuck. And when I left too, because like they kept my job. They were like, oh, Kyndal, like we want to keep you, blah, blah, blah. Even though I'd been talking about wanting a raise.
And what if I don't want to keep you?
Oh yeah, like I was like, what was the consideration for that? They sent out like new job descriptions the end of that week, and they made sure that in writing with the job description it said, please understand this job description, this new job does not come with a salary increase, but it does come with a responsibility increase. And I was like, you can actually go to fucking hell. And I sent in my resignation that day. Also, these motherfuckers, when people would leave, when they would resign, when they would quit, when whatever, or when they got laid off, when they did layoffs a couple months before this, and every time anybody, or groups of people left the company, everybody got a special goodbye message.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody got a, hey everybody, today is so and so's last day at the company. We just want to wish them well on their journey or whatever. And on my last day, which everybody knew was my last day, I got nothing. So I wrote the nastiest letter that got sent into the Slack company chat, that got screenshot and sent around for everybody to see. And I added the founders and I told them bless their hearts. And everyone thought that was so funny, but I was dead ass, because bless their fucking hearts. I don't know how they're going to keep this company afloat. But y'all be easy.
Period. I'm so glad you're out of there. Yeah. Isn't it wild to like look back on jobs and be like, wow, I really survived a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of how I'm feeling in this like transitional period. Like, my job that I just quit is not bad. Like, it's a job. That's really all I can say. Like, it's not a bad place. It's just like not for me.
Yeah.
It's like dating. You know, you like
Literally.
you test things out and you're like, maybe this is for me. Not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
That's a good way to
looking
look at
back,
it, though.
I'm like, how have I endured a year of this? Like,
literally.
that's crazy.
That's how I felt too.
Yeah.
I
And
was
you
like-
dealt with like way
It's
more
like,
than
no, honestly, like, because here's the thing is like, I love that positive way of thinking about it too. It's like, it is like dating. And I think I was talking to my therapist even said it. She was like, you're in a toxic relationship with your job, because there would be really high highs and really low lows. And everybody, it's like so sad because I loved everybody I worked with at my job. Like, I genuinely loved the people I was like closely working with, because there's so many departments. And, my manager was doing everything in her power to try and get me my raise, like everybody. And then when she got laid off, she was like, I didn't even know this was happening. Like, that's how like deep my hatred for this company runs, because I'm like, how could you lay off some of the people? There's a particular person I'm thinking of too that like was responsible for the ideation of some of the most successful campaigns they've had in the last year and a half, and they laid her off. And I'm kind of like, damn, y'all are dumb, huh? Y'all are dumb.
Well, and then it's like when no one's safe, it's like, well, then why am I going to sit around?
why am I
Because I know
here?
you said you were like, I'm not going to sit around and wait for y'all to fire me.
Yeah,
Like,
literally, no. I'd rather leave and then like have to deal with like the worst fucking people. Oh my God. And like, I just, no. And the clients were getting on my fucking nerves. I'm not done, but I'm like, I was so over at that point working with big brands as an agency, because it was like the big brands. Fun fact, y'all, they really don't listen. Like, they don't listen. They don't care. They have their own like quotas to reach. They don't care about creativity. They don't care about paying the creators as much as you think that they do. They don't give a fuck. Like, they really don't. They're trying to sell a product. And I was just kind of like, there's just not any heart in this.
Yeah.
At all.
Sell your soul to a corporation.
It's like, so that's why I started my own business. So if you guys ever want content made,
Curated chaos,
hit me up there. But
you really should.
Yeah, that's the biggest work tea, I'm sure. Any other additional work tea before we jump into submissions?
I think I gave you my like 2 really big ones.
Well, then I think it's time to
I'm
jump into submissions.
So excited for these.
We asked you guys to go ahead and submit all your work tea, your coworkers, your toxic bosses. Like, tell us what's up. And this is what you guys had to say. This first one says, a 65-year-old man, I don't know how old he is exactly, but old enough to know better, has had continuous beef with me since I started this job, and for no other reason other than I outrank him and I'm a woman. Like, sir, you are part-time. Please get over yourself. To have beef with, like, and I assume you're like a 20-something-year-old, but to have...
I know who that is.
I do too.
Yep.
But to have beef with a 20-something-year-old as a 65-year-old man is so bonkers to me. I need to know like what the beef exactly like is. I wish it was detailed.
I think it's just the fact that she is
a child and a woman,
young,
a child,
young in a position of power, doing a good job, and like girl bossing,
doing her best.
Frankly.
Exactly, girl bossing.
Men hate to see a girl boss win. They
really do.
Not to generalize, but also to generalize.
I just hate like the fact that like girl bosses are taking over the world and men can't stand it. Maybe if you stepped your pussy up, you could also run the world, but you can't, can you? Bless you. Next one. This one says, my workplace was an absolute shit show. All those people in the higher up positions were either egomaniacs or had the personalities of literal wet sponges. That is so good.
Sorry.
Don't trust anyone higher up, honey. Your bosses ain't your friends. They're all in it for themselves. Your coworkers, on the other hand, they're the only thing that will keep you sane and steer you through. Make sure you get drinks with them and drag all the losers through the mud. Should have left a million years ago. Would never make that mistake again in life. On to the next, sweetie. Good riddance.
Amen.
I need you to go into detail about this specifically, though.
But nothing is better than like coworker solidarity.
I feel that
nothing's better.
Because here's the thing: it's like it is literally, it is one or the other. You either love your fucking coworker or you hate your coworker.
Yeah,
there is like no difference. And like, I don't know. Like, you can't just be like funsies. Like, it is. I have a sincere respect and love for you, or I absolutely can't stand you. You need to get out of my face.
Honestly, the last year of my life, I've experienced indifference, which may be even worse than both of those things. At least hate inspires something. Love inspires something. Indifference is purely, I'm just like, yeah, y'all are also existing in this space.
Damn.
We never talk to each other.
Honestly, it's
craziest workspace I've ever been in. I've never been in a job environment where no one talks to each other. I found out more about my manager in our 10-minute conversation about me putting in my 2 weeks than I did for the entire rest of the year that I've been working there.
Damn.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It be like that sometimes. But don't trust the higher ups. That's actually kind of tea because like they act like your friends and they're
Well,
not.
because they want to be cool.
Yeah.
And relatable.
Every boss wants to be cool. Every single one wants to be cool. But it's so true. Like they are quite literally in it for themselves. And if it is at the sake of you getting, you know, what you need or you moving up, like they will do literally everything in their power to ensure that you stay right where you need to so that they can continue to get all the, especially if it's one of those things where like they benefit when the team does well. It's kind of like, well, I'm just going to keep you right here because like I'm getting praised. Like some of y'all need to grow up. So we just got a submission that was like more serious. And I'm still debating on whether I'm going to keep that in or not. But all I'm going to say is I feel as though you know who you are. You work in a bakery. There's a very bad coworker. Quit the job. Quit that job.
Agreed.
And that goes for anybody working in a really bad environment.
Quit.
You need to quit the job. I'm a big proponent of quitting.
Yeah.
Quit the job.
Quitting is scary, but like you have to just take the leap sometimes.
Also, like,
especially in a situation where like you and other people are in danger.
I just honestly
Quit.
like, it honestly bothers me because like when I quit my job, which to me is like not really equitable, just considering like I quit because it was like a toxic environment. When I quit, I remember like telling people I was quitting, and they were like, honestly, good for you. But I was like, but why would I stay here? Knowing that you guys mistreat people. And what pisses me off is if you're going to complain about your work environment and you're not going to quit, that's on you. Don't complain anymore. Don't. And it's like, I don't like, and it sucks because it's like, you know, in some cases I understand being like, I have to leave. I'm actively searching for a new position before I quit. Cause like money is tight. Money, that is very real. But if you're not doing that, you're just bitching and you're like, but like, it's a good job. And like, I need it. Fuck that. Quit. And I honestly, and maybe I'm wrong for it, but like I will look at you differently because I'm like, oh my God, why can't you quit the job? Nobody wants to work, period. And then why would you want to work a job where you're unhappy entirely? Quit the job.
I mean, what do you say after that?
No,
like
literally.
like I'm like kind of moving on. Wow.
This one, I mean, like, damn.
Yeah.
This one says, there's this one boss, not really my boss, but she's one of the higher ups on my team, and she's a little bitch who needs to retake the Preventing Harassment and Discrimination course we were just assigned. Damn, now she needs to retake it. She's been such a big bitch to me, from yelling at me over stupid little things to not listening to anything I say or allowing to do projects that align with my goals. We set these with our managers 1 to 2 times a year. Only putting me on crisis response or crisis monitoring. I work in public relations, by the way. She always gives me the scut work. I don't know what that means. Like probably like groundwork, right?
Yeah, like grunt work kind of thing.
Probably.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the white people on the team, she gives them whatever they want to. I've expressed multiple times in my interest in many projects and wanting to do things beyond this, behind the scenes in event planning, yet she skips over me every time. Every time I see her on Teams, I just get the urge to punch her probably. lunch her. Oops. But yeah, I roll my eyes every time she talks or when her face appears on the screen. Honestly, girl, I'm going to tell you to do the toxic thing, and I say you should. I say you start getting nasty in these meetings.
Honestly, spice up your life.
I think
Especially
so.
if you're like ready to get out, like even a little bit. Why not?
You might as well just say something real quick and just let her have it.
I guarantee one comment about like, oh, well, you're not treating so-and-so like this. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like very like strongly imply that it is, I wonder why. Like,
I need y'all to start getting bolder with these people that are getting bold with you. Like, being the bigger person is a scam. Go low. If they're going low, meet them in hell. Like, do that. I don't understand it. You got it. You zing her, bitch. Zing her.
what do you think the like most zinger thing that person could say to their boss would be?
To this lady?
Yeah.
It would have to be when she does something wrong.
Yeah.
You would have to catch her when she does something wrong and document it. put her on blast, like say something in the company meeting about like, oh, well, actually, Karen, the calculations were actually misrepresented in the meeting, and I had to double check because I would say some real slick shit like that, and then you know what you do? You get it in writing and copy her boss if there's like somebody above her.
Kyndal said, "Start the Google Doc now."
Oh yeah. You know how I feel about Google Docking, but bitch, if y'all like work in corporate, the biggest thing I can tell you guys is get a paper trail. Start documenting everything, especially when people do stuff like that's wrong or they mistreat you. Like document it, put it in an email, like keep that and keep receipts all the time. And it may not go anywhere, but you at least like get a chance to do something public with it. Like go to TikTok. That'll ruin somebody's life real fucking fast.
True.
It's honestly so much better than going to HR. Because what can HR do? But what can TikTok do? Everything. You'll have a new job. They'll be fired. And
the only thing about that is like people on the internet are crazy and will dox you.
Yes. That is the scary part.
Like I have a friend who's been doxed, and like, yeah,
that would actually.
It's like the word. It's horrible. Like
that would destroy me.
And it wasn't even because of like a job thing. Like it was like a whole unrelated thing. But like people on the internet, like
I am too sensitive for that.
Yeah, I just like don't have the mental wherewithal to be like battling people on TikTok or Twitter or whatever.
No. And like I'm a fan of deleting things. To me, like when people start getting mad about the Charnel like clip that I posted, I was like, I'm simply going to delete this video because there's no point in keeping it up. And you know what these motherfuckers did? I guess because once you show up in the algorithm and you comment or you like something, you'll show up again. So I deleted the video, and I guess a different clip that I posted came up, and like 4 different people, all men, mind you, decided they wanted to comment under like the new clip and was like, oh, we saw you deleted it, like you're wrong. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to block you. Like there is like I'm not about to argue with you.
Some people will just never be happy.
Like, oh my god, you miserable little fuck, grow up, bitch. Anyway, sorry. Someone addressed me by name. Hi, Kyndal. I have been waiting for this episode just to type out all the absolute bullshit that went down in my previous workplace.
Yes, let's go.
I used to work at a dine-in movie theater that was truly a pretty decent place to work until our previous general manager left. We received a new store manager who was quite literally the scummiest person I have ever met. As soon as this man started, I began keeping a list of policy violations, period.
That's the Kyndal way.
Period. That he and another manager began to freely commit, ranging anywhere from racial profiling to sexual harassment. Damn! Why do people go Damn!
I think the one thing we're learning about this topic is it really is that serious.
It really is that fucking serious.
Every time.
Oh my fuck. Anyway, yes. The general manager used to touch and tickle female servers. No!
Ew.
No. While another manager decided to date and flirt with employees with the age decreasing every time he did. I went to HR with everything I had listed and they did absolutely nothing about it. Very much good old boys system. I thankfully no longer work there, neither did the 18 staff members that quit after nothing was done. 18!
You know what good? Show them.
Anyways, don't go to Studio Movie Grill. Oh my god, that place is ass and the food is just $20 Tyson chicken tenders. Now that's
the tea we wanted. That is the tea we wanted.
No, because not the name drop.
That was too good.
Damn. Studio Movie Grill. Y'all need to pull y'all shit together.
You'll never get my business.
No, y'all will not get my business, especially because I can do the $20 chicken tenders at home, bitch. Y'all better put some new shit in the fryer and fire those motherfuckers that are tickling servers. Why are we tickling people in 2023?
Yeah, seriously, do not put your
why are we tickling people in 2023? Grow up.
I haven't heard the word tickle mentioned in like years.
That just made me itch. I just want you to know that.
Itch is crazy.
It made me itch. Oh my god. Don't go to Studio Movie Grill. Man, that was the best submission ever.
That's funny.
That was too good. Okay. Moving on.
All right.
Somebody said, the question goes, do you have workplace tea? Somebody said yes.
That's
if you troll me one more fucking time, I will find out who you are and I will wring your neck. I mean it.
I shouldn't laugh at that, but also
like why?
That's just like smart ass behavior.
Like, yes, I know you're a hater. Stop it. Like, what are you doing that for?
I'm the horrible person who finds that funny. Like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sitting here like, fuck y'all. Okay. We got another company name drop. Here we go.
Oh.
When I was in high school, I worked at Chick-fil-A from their opening day. I worked there for 3 years and got fired because someone couldn't mind their damn business. What did they do? For context, I was 15 when I started and got fired during my first semester in college. It was my first job, and the whole time I worked there, I was always paranoid about messing up. And so I was always asking, oh my God, I'm going to get fired. Oh my God, am I going to get written up? And they would pretend that I would, because they're two assholes who left school to manage a fucking Chick-fil-A. This has nothing to do with the actual story. But just so y'all know what I was dealing with, I was 17 and got put on fryers, which is very illegal in the state that I live in. And I couldn't lift them up properly. I hit my arm and got a 2nd-degree burn. Damn. And they told me that if I went to the ER, they wouldn't pay out my shift. So I stayed, and a customer got mad at them because my arm was burnt and I was actively on register. So they told me to go to the back and juice lemons for lemonade with an open wound on my arm.
Oh my, ow. First of all,
that's fucking disgusting. Second of all, those people can go straight to hell because they knew what they were fucking doing, especially with a 17-year-old. Thirdly, oh my God, y'all need to give me the location of this Chick-fil-A so we can leave a bad 5-star review. So we can leave a no. There's more. So at Chick-fil-A, I would work the 7 a.m. opening shift, me and one other person only. We were in charge of fruit cups, salads, etc. Pro tip, if you go to Chick-fil-A and you really want a salad or a fruit cup, just ask for a modification because that shit sits there from 7 a.m. till closing unless they sell out. And let's be real, who's buying salads at Chick-fil-A? What?
That's crazy. Also, I do buy salads at Chick-fil-A.
They said, so ask for a modification, like no chicken or like, I don't know.
Good to know.
Noted,
very,
right?
very good information.
And then it's
to
fresh.
know.
That's actually huge.
Wow.
Modification for fruit, like can you ask for like no blueberries? Like is that a thing?
I don't know.
Interesting.
The fruit part bothers me a little bit less.
Sure.
Then I don't know.
I think all of it is just like rather.
It's like a little icky.
It's such a thing where it's like I feel like I knew that they probably were sitting still. But like
just didn't think about it. To have that confirmation is a little like
damn.
But also, you know how we feel about Chick-fil-A.
Exactly. So. Well, whoever you are, you're giving such good tea, so thank you. But yeah, they said ask for not modification because it sits from 7 a.m. to closing. Back to the point. This one other person was early 20s, I believe. They didn't like it because I didn't work fast enough for them. And one morning they had their caseless phone playing music on the top shelf by a box. I went to reach for something and accidentally knocked it off.
Oh my God, I have a story similar to this. Continue.
And the screen cracked.
Yes, this has happened to me.
What happened?
So my first job, I worked at a water park. Like the snack huts and stuff at a water park.
Yeah.
And this girl put her phone like in front of the register and someone paid for something and I like hit the button and it opened the register, knocked her phone to the floor. And she was trying to get me to pay for it and my manager stepped in and was like, that's not your fault. She shouldn't have had her phone there. And I was like, thank God. But yeah, she was mad at me. She never spoke to me again. And I was like, well,
why was your phone out? Also,
first
of
all, why was it there?
And
why was it like where the thing that comes out, like the register, like pops out, like anyway. So yes, I've had that happen to me. Hated it. So
that's tea. Well, yeah, this was sitting on a shelf.
I've never felt so horrible in my life. I felt so bad.
I know you probably did.
And I like cried about it. Aww. My mom was like, Sophie, you're not paying for that girl's phone.
No,
I was like
okay.
She'll
live. Also, like if it's not like if it's still usable, grow up. Like that's your fault. Put a case on your phone.
Very true.
If this was an OtterBox, we'd have a different story.
Very true.
But there's no OtterBox on the case. Moving on. Because like fuck you guys. I went to reach for something, accidentally knocked it off, and the screen cracked. At this point, the managers were there, but that bitch lived up their asses, and the usual response would be, well, you shouldn't have had your phone out, but of course, they were the favorite. And then when I said that, they told me to just go back to work. I had to pay $100 so that they could fix her stupid screen. Again, 18-year-old working part-time in college versus somebody in their 20s working full-time after that bitch had it in for me.
Bestie, I'm so sorry that happened to you.
You shouldn't
have
paid
That is the worst
shit.
Handling. Yeah, as someone who had the opposite experience, I'm so sorry.
That's horrible.
Oh my gosh.
$100 is crazy for somebody else's phone to get their screen. You know what?
Ugh.
Second pro tip: do not have your coworkers on social media. LMAO.
Well,
I was in the habit.
We had this conversation earlier.
I was in the habit of doing a shift recap on my Snapchat every time I worked, and I had a couple people from work on there. This person was one of them. At one point, a manager who also went to the same high school that I did, but dropped out to be a manager at Chick-fil-A. Go figure. Go figure, it says, was like, I heard about your stories. And I was like, how did you even find out? And he tried to be like, oh, well, we went to the same high school. I immediately called bullshit, but I always was really careful in my stories. Anyway, one day I was super ultra pissed off because one of the managers literally manhandled me during a shift and they were giving me shit about calling out. So also I was a little extra disrespectful, and I was like, imagine dropping out of high school to work at Chick-fil-A and getting mad at me because I called out of work because of college.
Boss.
The person I worked with showed them that Snapchat story, and they videotaped it on their own phone and let me come into my 7 a.m. shift just to fire me after they showed it to me.
That's evil.
That person had so much anger, and I hope that writing all that out helped you like release that.
Cathartic.
And was like cathartic for you. Thank you for entertaining us.
Yeah, that was great.
That was so good.
A lot of good information in there.
And honestly,
too.
it makes me sit there because it's like, yeah, you know what? Who does that? How many of y'all are that bored? You run a Chick-fil-A.
You dropped out of high school to run that Chick-fil-A.
You need to calm down. If you run a Chick-fil-A, you need to chill. Like, that's the general consensus here. Just chill. Take a chill pill. This one says, oh no. I worked at Starbucks for 4 months in 2021, and I was the opener, which meant I would come into work at 5 a.m. I really liked my coworkers, and I loved my regulars and making drinks. The problem was the manager. When I tell you this man had not one single ounce of empathy in him, he had already been an asshole with scheduling when I asked him to schedule me for later shifts and not back-to-back 5 a.m. shifts. My breaking point was when I had to go to a funeral and I asked to call out. His initial response was that, do you have a funeral at 5 a.m.? When I said no, it was at 9. He said, you can come in at 5 and leave early. I quit on the spot. As you should.
Well, we've been saying this whole episode.
If y'all don't fuck that job. Quit. That's like the name of this whole episode. Yeah. Girl, fuck that job. Yeah. Like, are you joking? Is the funeral at 5 a.m.? Like, is yours at 5 a.m.? Because it's about to be. The fuck?
Exactly. Yeah.
Girl, go to hell. That shit. Ooh.
There would absolutely be another funeral happening.
No, because like, and you know what? That makes me honestly question, because like, obviously you're such a big corporation like Starbucks, like you can't really keep track of every single manager, every single boss that like does shit like that. But it's like makes me sit there and it's like, why isn't there like a workers association, like a Rate My Professor for these people? Because like these bosses need to be rated by the people that they work with. They should not have to be dealing with that. Mm-hmm. Starbucks, pull it together, dear. This makes me like genuinely like, oh,
just makes me want to go on a rant about just like big corporations, but
in general.
But like, what more is there to say? Like, they suck,
right?
And they're always gonna suck.
But you can say your piece, Sophie. You're allowed. This is your area to vent.
It's just so frustrating. Like, I haven't worked for like a big business, but like I have a lot of friends who have, like you did, and like you know, it's just really frustrating to not care about the people who work for you at all. Mm-hmm. And like, you know, I can say a million things about the jobs that I've worked for, but they genuinely have like cared about the people that work there for the most part. And so it's just really frustrating to like hear my friends like stressed about like this, that, and the other because they're literally a pawn in a game.
Yes.
And like, doesn't matter. Like they could be doing the best job ever and it won't matter. 2 days from now, their company could be like, oh, whatever, I hate you, I'm firing you. Like, you don't matter to me. And in 2 days I'll have you replaced. Like, that just like really sucks. And I don't know if it's just because I like haven't experienced that. It's like hard for me to like to watch that happen and like watch them go through that. Like, I don't know. It's really annoying.
And to me, that's why like small businesses and like small businesses and like small brands will always just be way more preferable for me, and like entrepreneurs, like, because like these like massive corporations, these massive companies like are so big that they do not have, they have the money and they have the ability, but they just choose not to when it comes to actually ensuring that what's going on within every location, within every single storefront is actually providing a seamless, good experience for everyone involved, not just the customers, but also like the employees that work for you. Like, I don't know. I feel like as a business owner, like I feel very specific about that because like I want to build a team out one day, and like there's no way I'm building a team and not having the utmost respect for everyone on that team. If someone's not getting along with somebody else, like we really need to sit down and figure the fuck out like why. And if somebody needs to go, somebody needs to go. Like, we're not about to have a very painful fucking work environment. We're not going to do that. Like, it sucks enough we have to work.
Period. Anyway,
moving on. Oh my God, someone else. Do you have workplace tea? Yeah. Go to hell.
Sorry, it's not funny.
Like,
it's really like, please stop doing that to Kyndal, but also
like, stop doing this to me.
You're lucky I'm the one sitting here because I think that is so funny.
I'm too sensitive and I take things way too seriously. This show was made for me to chill out, and y'all are bringing out the freak in me That makes me mad. That makes me fucking. And you know what? I should probably not. You know what? I'm very grateful and happy about that because the second I say I'm mad about it, people going to keep doing it.
You'll get every single response. It's gonna be like, yes.
Now I got haters for real.
How about we like? Oh, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Let's take a note from improv and yes and. Sorry to everyone who just cringed when I said that because I know.
Let's yes
and in the submissions.
Wow, that was tea.
Yeah.
This one says, my coworker / department chair hated me and would literally make my day to day hell. Would tell our supervisor, the principal, we were teachers, bogus shit about things. Bogus is crazy. That's how I know it was outlandish because you said bogus.
I love the word bogus.
I think it's hilarious. But yeah, he would tell our supervisor bogus shit about things just to get him to have meetings with me. The last stunt she did was mad. I used my sick time. The last stunt she did was mad. I used my sick time because I was stressed about work. So she got my supervisor to put me in an achievement plan, which means I wasn't allowed to use any more of my sick time. Y'all, she went on vacation to Venice, Italy and died from a brain aneurysm the very next week. And they told us it was stress induced.
Karma is my boyfriend. Maybe that was insensitive, but that feels like karma.
Oh my God.
That feels like major karma.
Died?
I mean, rest in peace, I guess. But also,
Died?
like, if you're like, I don't know,
Died? Like, I'm literally sitting here like shocked at what I just read. Died.
Well, it's crazy to me that she tried to take away that person's ability to like take sick days and like actually not be stressed. Clearly this was a stressful environment, so sorry to both of you. Like, that really sucks.
No, that does suck because like what the fuck.
But also it seems like karma had your back because why did she like
karma had
immediately turn around, leave the country and go on vacation and then
brain aneurysm? Died? Y'all, this is our last submission. Thank God we're not ending on that note because that was crazy. This one, I can't even say that. One serving job, I had the manager throw a large pan across the kitchen and screamed, "I'm surrounded by," I can't say this word, but I'm gonna say that it's not nice and it's a slur, but it says, "I'm surrounded by stupid people," is probably the what they meant to say. Mm-hmm. The kitchen was behind a half wall and the entire restaurant heard everything.
Oh my God.
And that's our submission.
Well,
Sophie, how you feeling?
Kind of bleak.
What the fuck, y'all? Well, thank you guys for listening to the show. I really appreciate it. This week, Sophie, thank you for coming on the show.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me.
Are
we reading a review?
We are going to read a review.
Let's go.
Guys, make sure that you leave a review, please, because it's important that you do. This one is a 5-star review, and I'm going to. This is what constructive criticism actually sounds like. This review comes from Wit Won't Quit. Period.
Great name.
It says it's 5 stars. It says love, but sound could be better. I love it. I just wish the guest mics were turned up as loud as the host. Very valid. And you know what? It's not even the guest mics being turned up. I just be screaming.
Kyndal's loud.
I will learn to fix it. But thank you, Wit Won't Quit, for your constructive criticism and your 5-star review. It is greatly appreciated. Yay. Sophie, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'll be back.
You will be back.
Because guess what, y'all? There's Love is Blind season, 5? Is it 4 or 5?
It's got to be 5.
I think it's 5.
I think it's 5.
Love is Blind.
Season 5.
Season 5.
We will be recapping.
We'll be sat with our notebooks.
Oh, yeah. You guys don't even understand what's coming because y'all really liked the Love is Blind like full recap of last season. So we're just gonna do it again, and we're still trying to figure out how to make it work, but it's gonna happen.
It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. Y'all make sure you leave a review. Apple Podcasts and Spotify, everywhere you get podcasts. Make sure you comment on the YouTube. Share this video. So let's share this podcast with someone who would like to rant about their workplace experiences. And to be quite honest, like, it just sucks. It's hard enough we have to work a job. Our coworkers are shit. Our bosses are annoying. But at the end of the day, when it comes to working, it's not that serious. Okay, everybody. Mwah!
Mwah.
See y'all in another episode.